All right, this morning we're going to talk about using break in TSQL, and this will be fairly fast today. And what we're going to do is we're going to declare a variable I, and it's going to be an int, and we're going to set it equal to 1. And basically, while I is less than or equal to 10, we begin, end, on, and then set I equal to I plus 1. Okay, so we're just doing a simple loop. And what we want to do is we want to select I. And you can see, of course, because this is what loops do, it just basically counts 1 through 10. All right, so what does break do? So now you'll know we have our loop. Let's suppose that we want to select I, but if I equals 5, we want to break. And you'll see what happens. So we're going to do the exact same thing. The only difference here is now when I equals 5, we will break. So let's see what happens. You will notice that when I hits 5, it stops the loop. Whereas again, let's just try it. If we go ahead and code this out, it counts to 10. So essentially what break does is it will stop the loop in this case. So I know some people might be like, okay, well, like why would that be important? To give an example of where I've seen this used, we're looping through a data set, and if we discover something within the data set, every now and then, let's say 1 out of 1,000,000 times, there's something that's invalid data. We want to go ahead and break the loop. It's like an oversimplified example, though in this case I wouldn't use a while loop. But in this case example, let's suppose we had a problem that was one number divided by another number, and one of the numbers that was dividing by was 0. Well, we would want to break the loop because obviously you can't divide by 0. Of course, like I said, I would definitely not use a loop in that instance, but that's an example of something. So basically when you have bad data, you will snap and break the loop, and then of course for our process we'll send an email notifying us that that was bad data. Then we turn around and notify the department to resubmit the data. And that's kind of an example. There are other examples you'll see people breaking loops. A lot of times have to do with, if it hits a certain point when it shouldn't, we'll go ahead and break out of the loop. But this is one of the ways in which you can snap out of one. You don't necessarily have to go to 10. If you happen to know that the process should stop if something occurs, that's when you can go ahead and throw in your if statement and then break your loop. So that's kind of how to use a TSQL break. And almost always I've seen them start with an if. I don't think I've ever seen one without an if statement, though you can use it without the if statement.